Morning guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. Today we're heading on to the 2nd of December and it's Thursday. So it's NFP week, so we're expecting possibly a lot of manipulation today, ready for tomorrow for the true moves. From there, we've been testing the Forex and can you be profitable with an 8 year, and we've been sort of doing baseline tests, but on top of that, we've got like a thing called a control center, which I'm going to show you in a minute again. And we're going to target gold again because we did the New York session yesterday and it was profitable. If you haven't seen that video, just check out either on my Facebook wall or on my YouTube channel. You'll see that can you be profitable with an EE on gold. We were profitable on the gold, to be honest. So I'm going to head you over to my mobile in a second. So I'm going to switch the screen and I'm going to show you the control panel. And then I'm going to set it up from there. And then, yeah, we'll just take it there from there, guys. Just bear with me. So this is the setup, guys. I'm basing this on the 1 hour, okay? It is on demo, as you can see on the top of there. And I'll set the parameters on the main screen at the minute. So we're going to start the day off at 102,122.30. We've got a control center here. And we've got a profit of around about 1,000 there. Not that we're going to be getting to that. There's the spread fluctuating there. We're not going to have a trailing stop on this. We're not going to have lots to close. Yes, we are. In fact, we're going to have lots to close. Let's take a look. So if we just go on to expert advisors, properties. We're going to take around about a tenner at a time. So that's telling me that value register here started off. Click OK. Before we go into there, I'm just going to go onto this bit. Let's just share the screen a second. And close that. So you'll see that is set to the hour. XEU USD. Same account. The reason I can't get that on that is because it doesn't work on VPS. So what will happen if I click on start a year? You'll start seeing the grids start to pop up. There we are. And then what will happen is, excuse me, depending on the criteria, there's the ask line. We've got a buy stop and a sell stop. We push through that line and we're after a tenner at a time. So that's £10 at a time. Back over to the main screen now. Okay, guys, so now we're back on my main recording on the desktop. Yeah, you've seen the control center there. Excuse me. So what we're heading for, we're going to try and put an element of manual side on this today. I'm going to try and be at the screen and try and scalp and get a tenner at a time. And I'm not really interested in price sort of pushing right up on these, if I'm honest. It's these inner zones I'm after. So we push through one of them, try and get £10 at a time or $10 at a time. And then from there, we hold the EA because we have that on the control panel. And then I'm going to stop it, restart it, and refresh the grids. So we'll try and push a tenner at a time. It is now just on 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll do this until the afternoon when I have a break and a bite to eat. And then I might restart it again later on. So I'm going to try and keep this video short to around about 10 to 15 minutes long. Keep them short and sweet. I'm not going to be going into too much on structure and order blocks and things like that. This is just, can you be profitable using an ETA? Now we're hitting the baseline sort of parameters. I've got what I need in place, especially on the gold side of things. Let's just see if we can catch some pips and make some profit. So I'll speak to you a little later on in the day. Sorry about that. I forgot to mention we need to reset the total. I know that's where we were yesterday when we first started. That's where we were at the end of the day. That was on the New York session for 4 hours between 2 and 6. So we were profitable by about $100. So we need to go 102,122.30. So that's where we are at the moment. So you can agree that is paired up with today's total. Let's see if we can catch some pips and profit. I'll see you a bit later on, guys. Hi guys, so what I've done, let's just see if I can get this on here. Just list. It's just going to let me draw this out. No. Trend line. Edit. That's why. That's better. Right, so what I've done, guys, there's the arrow there. We are going to try and scalp and use the ETA. Currently over here, we've got a sell limit. So if we bounce on the top, we're expected to come down, and we've got a buy. We've got a buy stop, sorry, because this is where price is. We've got a buy stop. If price was to push through, then it's activated as a buy. Underneath is a sell stop, and it's the same with that. If it pushes through the bottom, be activated for a sell. However, on the higher side, if it was to push up through this, because we've got highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, a bit of a false breakout on here, creating a sort of high from the low high, and then price intention was certainly to push through. Okay, now as we've had this engulf in this area, this has created an order block here, a very strong order block, to be in all honesty. Price has come back and it's tried to come into respect that area. So if we come up through here at a sell limit, okay, there's every chance we could activate 2 areas within that order block. So we may be in some form of drawdown, if that makes sense, from there. But structure-wise, as this is a big order block and engulfing, taking out the liquidity right across here. So that is, it's a very sort of prominent structure point. If we get the push up overs rather than down on the sell stop, okay, we will possibly, in my opinion, activate not just this sell point, but we may even activate that sell point, okay, simply because it comes into conjunction with the 1 hour order block, okay. So I'm anticipating that at the moment. We'll see what happens. I'll be back on a little bit later just to see if that does play out. There's every chance that this may even simply come to a lower structure point. Let's just scroll out to a lower structure point. I mean, obviously price at the moment's here, okay. We may even come down as low as a point there. Let's take a look. Insert, shapes, rectangle. We may even come down to that point today at some stage, okay? So we scroll back out. So that's where we are. That's where we are on price. So we're waiting for the buy. I'm hoping for the buy end. So as we come up, we'll take profit. But at the same time as taking that $10 profit, it's going to activate the sell, and then we'll get the downturn. So we'll get the up, and then we can make a quick $20, hopefully within the next hour. If we do get the push through here, I do think it's going to certainly head towards this lower order block, which is what we've seen just before. this one down on the bottom before we then get the push up on the move up. Okay, so we'll see you in a bit. We'll see where we are. Hi guys, so as you can see, we got the grid off at the moment simply because if you look on here, we've taken some profits today, scalping away. We've taken around about $30 or so. Let's take a look. We've got $68 profit altogether, but that's off the other day as well, to be fair. Let's take a look. So there's 10. Let's have a look. We'll do this correctly. So we started 102,122.30 cents. We've now got 102,149. So we've got just over $20 odd in profit so far. So again, what I've got at the moment is obviously on the higher side. We've got order blocks. Okay, we've got pushed out. It's broke structure from there, most certainly. So I'm expecting an upturn, maybe a respecting on this level here. If it pushes through that order block and breaks the structure of that, we've then got this big one, this one that holds a lot of sort of prominence within the structure of this, because we've got a push and then a huge engulfing move out to break the structure on the 1 hour. We'll give 2 hours of candles without any buying. So again, we've came back in, mitigated 50% of that area in fairness, and then we started on the push down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the EA off again. You'll see the grids will start up. And once again, we start from the very beginning. A buy stop pushing up, which is what I'd possibly want more than a sell stop, to be fair, because there's only one area of an order block, which is holding prominence on the bottom. Either way, when we get in, we're only looking at a quick $10 scalp. And then once we break structure out of the zones, maybe 1 or 2 zones, I will then sort of go back on the chart, reset the grid, and start it off again. Okay, I do believe that this is working so far, but I don't think it'll work altogether, because obviously you will need a ranging market, which is what you really need for most ETFs. But you've got more level of controllability on this than what you do on most. In fact, you do in fact have more controllability on this than what you do on most of the ETFs, to be fair. So again, we await what happens with price here. Comes here, we wait for a break, or down here in a break. Okay, I do have a stop loss set on this at the moment, so it's a runabout risk and reward of a 1-to-1 at the minute. I think it is. I might take that stop off because I am at the chart, so I can close this at any time. I don't want to go anything into too much of drawdown, if I'm honest with you. So now we are in profit, and it is only 10:30, taking $20 profits. Again, we could up the lot sizes, to be fair, to risk a bit more once we get more of a baseline structure on this. But again, I'm going to do this at dinner time and see where we are, and then I might do it again just after dinner on the New York session. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment. I'll keep you updated on any other progress, and I'll see you in a bit. Hi guys, so it's now 12 o'clock or just after. It's time for a bite to eat, but we're just going to give you a bit of information on where we are at the moment. So I'll just get the pink one. So as you can see, gold has not moved terribly much over the last few hours. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. We've been on a little bit of an upward scale, coming back into the higher order block, which is what I was expecting anyway. From there, I do believe we are going to go higher, because we've got such a big engulfing move coming out of this pullback retracement. So we are coming down in the downtrend, but I think we're going to hit these higher order blocks. Okay, so the element of the video today is obviously to trade with the EA, but moving the procedure along. Can you actually be profitable trading with the EA, letting it pick your entries and then sort of scalping your way out of the profit areas? Now, again, all the grades, these are entry points, and I'm just basically focusing on the 1, 2, 3, 4 that is close together. That are close together. Once we get an entry, I'm looking to be getting around about 10 to 15 pound profit, and then we're out. This is where we are from this morning. We started at $102,122.30. We are in profit for today. I'm at $102,153.26. So what I'm doing at the moment is working. We had a profitable day yesterday, got a profitable day again today, albeit it's $20, $30 at a time. But again, this is a test. It is demo. It's not live money at the moment. And I'm just finding a general sort of baseline structure where I'm able to use or possibly use the ETA to do these entries. But when I'm looking at what I've done today, I've obviously got a trailing stop and a take profit area once these are in. But on top of that, I'm now starting to factoring in what I've learned over the 5 years of trading, where I've got structure points as well. So again, going on pattern play, zonal play, structure points, and overlaying that with that ETA. If anything goes against me, the trailing stops there to help. If we go into profit, we are looking to snatch, like I say, a minimal profit at a time. Going into next week, I'm going to start a fresh account off, a total fresh demo account. And what we'll do is we will possibly up the lot size on these, because with it being scalping, you can risk that little bit more. So I'll start a fresh account off next week. I might set it up with my FX book as well, so we can see if there's any growth or any drawdown on there. And I'm just going to basically trade this and see, can you really be profitable using an ETA? And I'm going to do that over the course of the rest of December, to be fair. I'm not going to do videos every day on this, but obviously you'll have access to the login details for the MyFX book, so you can see how the trading goes on this. And again, that's going to be my challenge for the month of December. Do I agree with EEs? I don't, to be fair, because simply they are there. They will get you in on an entry, but again, it's how the algorithm works, to be honest. They're not 100%. Again, this is a grid ETA. It's what we call an advanced grid ETA. And it does have an element of giving you an aspect of some manual trading on there. Again, if you've seen the video the other day, I've got a control center on my screen on my laptop to the left, because I can't have this on a Mac. And it tells me any current trend on the 15, the 30, and the 1 hour. Okay. And from there, it also lets me hold the ETA, start the ETA, restart it, close everything that's pending, close the opens, close the sells. But it'll also let me open a position on a buy or a sell wherever I see fit. So that's where this sort of stuff is going to come into play. If I see something like this here, structure point, and we had a movement up, I would possibly try and manually do a trade from this as a sell to come back down towards a liquidity area on the downside. So there is a plus side on using this ETA, in fairness, because I can now use it as what its purpose is, an ETA auto trade, but I can also factor in the element of the manual side. So start from next week's going to be good. We've got our baseline. We have got profit again today. We ended up with about $80 odd of profit yesterday. Today we've got about $30 odd of profit. So far we've got over $100 of profit over the last 2 days, which is quite good, in fairness, in my opinion. Again, we're waiting for this to come into play. We're heading towards a structure point of an order block, the blue square. Okay. Will we get an entry? I believe, going on structure and the way it's playing out at the moment, I think we may get an entry on here and go towards the 50% of the order block, and then we might start pulling down a bit before then taking off to the higher order block. However, if this happens, if this happens, all's not lost. It just means we'll grab our $10 of profit, and from this hitting on here, I'll possibly let these two play out, and then I'll reset the grid and then start it off again with those 4 zones. The outer zones I'm not terribly interested in, because they're for longer term, just letting the EU do what it wants. But I do believe if you do that, that's when you can run into problems. But I'm looking to be at the chart and have the EU set and just scalp the price as it moves while I'm in front of the computer doing my regular trading. So far so good. It is positive, it is working, and we are waiting for that next entry. I'm going to leave it on, and I'm going to have a bit of a short break, and I'm just going to let this run right through, to be fair, and then I'll just keep checking the screen as and when. I've got my phone there for notifications as well, so I can tell when something's ended. And we'll be back a little bit later on this afternoon, possibly after 2 o'clock, for a checkup in 2 hours time. Okay guys, I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi guys, so it's coming around to just after the start of the New York session and things like that. So it is now currently around 20 to 3. School run's just about to come back. And this is where we lie. We started the day, you notice the grids come off now. I've anticipated a move up to the higher ends. It hasn't done that. It's gone to the order block of the higher ends, of the lower higher end, I should say, but then price is now coming down. So I've had to close off the expert advisor because we've broken structure from here and here. So with that happening, I am expecting a drive down to this area here. So for safety and keeping what we've got in play, we've got the bias on what we need to do on a day-to-day basis. We've got the stop loss and the take profit areas, and now we're factoring in obviously structure with this. With that being said, it's taken, this is the 4th day I think it is, and today we started with $102,122.30. I've now got $102,213.70. So we're around about $10 off getting a $100 return today. So again, that's pretty good.
Sorry, could you say that?
2 days and 2 good days of profit. I think overall it's nearly $300 of profit in 2 days. So again, this is a challenge for me for the month of December. And the question still begs and lies there. Can you be profitable using an EA? First couple of days, obviously, you need to get the grips with how the EA works and what is it capable of. We've done that, and it wasn't profitable just sort of going heads in, feet first as well, and just letting it play out. There is an element of still knowing structure points and obviously knowing when to get in and out, when to close it. Yeah, we have been profitable the last 2 days. Tomorrow, Friday, I don't think I'll be trading tomorrow because it's the NFP, to be honest. So I'm going to leave it well alone tomorrow. I think we've more or less got our bias and things like that, what we need to do, and structure, area and points, and how we're going to approach this. From Monday next week, which is, let's take a look, Monday next week, the 6th, Monday next week, what we're going to do is we're going to trade like what I've done the last 2 years with this, basing it upon the structure points, looking at structure on order blocks, and taking the trading from there and letting the EA do the take profit areas and things like that. Has the last couple of days been a fluke? Has it been lucky? We'll soon find out. I presume if price is going to get spikes like this, okay, it will affect us because obviously we're entering different zones and there's different entry points and things like that. However, that's why we predetermine the consolidated areas and things like that with these order blocks, okay? Then I am going to keep this on the 1 hour time frame block on it being trading, because I think trying to use these EAs, which is what the more or less push towards, if you put it on the 1 minute, it's certainly not going to do well. But if you can tame it and keep it to structure points, I think there is a chance and every chance you can be profitable, which I've just proved over the last 2 days. So pretty chuffed with that. So I'm going to go, guys. Please drop your comments below. If you're not already inside this Discord, you can do that by hitting the join button. Show your support on there. Every little helps that goes towards the donations and that we get in the channel. And for the price of a cup of coffee, it just helps with the upkeep of everything. Okay, so I shall see you all later.